What is up, everybody? It's Kanti just back here again with another video. So for this video, I don't really have my headsets as of the moment, so you guys are probably not gonna, I don't know if it's gonna, affect the audio quality or anything like that. Hopefully it won't. I know in the past, for dub animes like Soul Eater, which is really the only dub that I think I even really watched on this channel, but I know for Soul Eater, it definitely did, create a little bit of a difference there, and it wasn't really so much of audio problems. I think it was more so problems of it's really just like my attention span, really, because it's like I want to focus on the episode and not just solely like I want to focus on the episode and not lose any information. And when it's in English, it's kind of like it's hard to really do two at the same time. Compared to if I read this in Japanese sub, it's a lot different. You get what I'm saying? So, and the task is a lot easier to read it and still talk. It sounds weird. It sounds counterproductive, but no. Like for me personally, watching things in Japanese sub is easier than watching things in dub. But when it comes to also reacting, I'm not saying sub is better than dub. I'm not saying that, but you get what I'm saying. So that shouldn't affect this in terms of my attention span, but I never really know, how this is really recording, you know what I mean? I never really know how this is recording until I'm done recording. So, yeah, of course, I should, I just thought of an idea. Maybe I should do some tests before these videos if it ever happens again. I'll do that next time. I'll do a little test before. Anyway, as I was saying before, this might affect the quality a little bit, but I'm just gonna go straight forward anyway because I got a limited amount of time, so I gotta do this reaction quickly. And I'm just gonna skip all the talk. We've been talking for 2 minutes. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a week. And we're just gonna it's been more than a week, I think like 2 days more than a week, or 1 day more than a week, I think so. Anyway, we're gonna, at least it feels like that. We're gonna get the show on a roll in, I'm gonna rewind this on 4 seconds, because, pause it before it plays, there you go, awesome. And we're gonna play this in 3, 2, 1, bam! Lower this down a little bit. It's too loud. What sucks is that the neighbors are like playing this party music, so now I'm trying to focus. And I want to hear the OSTs. I can't hear the classical OST. The neighbors. Music is so loud. Watch her turn around and she's going to be totally different. Or maybe not. She's going to be lifeless somehow. Something in her is going to be twisted. She's giving me the vibes with that other girl, from the episode where the girl had holes in her hand. My English is off. This is gonna be that is actually pretty good art. Art in an anime with art. If you change your model, I bet you're painting. What does she mean by that? The music, the opening's gonna play. I wonder what she meant by or what she said about if you change your model, it might be better. Or your paintings would look better, to be more exact. I wonder if she meant like if your face gets rearranged or something like that. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's what she meant, or if my attention span was just slow. Listen, guys. When I have the headsets, when I have the headsets off of my head, it's like my attention is just disrupted. The headsets really do magic when you're doing reactions. For any of you guys out there hopefully seeing this, that plan to do reactions to yourself at some point, or another. Um, headsets really do magic. They really take you into that world, you know what I mean? Or you can just focus on the reaction rather than focusing on the outside noise like I am right here, the neighbors partying, all this stuff. But I will say this: the gray clouds right now have like a hint of like beautiful skies right here, and the scenery's pretty nice. Usually I'll be fanboying over the opening, but like again, I don't have the headset, so like maybe you guys hearing, the song, it's pretty good quality, but for me, it's kind of like, I don't know. I could hear it, but it's not as impactful as it is with the headset on. That's actually a pretty good, unique sketch. Oh, he's drawing her. That's CGI in the background, the sculptures. Ooh. Oh. In the Nana series, I wonder if that was a little reference there. Ooh. Oh. I wouldn't mind doing that. The only problem is, I know that if he falls into this trap, I'm not gonna blame him because she is kind of cute. You know what I mean? So I can't really blame him. He really went in on that painting. Yeah, because like he might die. You know what I mean? He might not run into anyone ever again. I wonder if the painting is going to come alive. Oh, yeah, I guess she's talking about her personality, not her appearance, because like they mark her appearance, but not her personality. I think that's what she's referring here. Permanent, and death is permanent. Or did it? Because she's the judge. She's saying that yeah, exactly. Mm. Man, that has to hurt. It's gonna eat away. It's gonna eat away at him, isn't it? He's getting obsessed. Ooh, off with her head. I know that there is symbolism with what just happened there. Or other foreshadowing, maybe. I don't know if it's symbolism or foreshadowing or both. Something like that, yeah. Sick with getting an obsession. And they had those sculptures in the background, I remember that. Is that Tomie? Is that Tomie? Tomie? And she's naked for him too. So she's a lot more, personal. I mean, like, him painting her is a lot more personal than he was with her. It's Tomie, isn't it? Ooh. Are they really not thinking anything of the double face? Why does he look so badass? I'm sorry, but he looks pretty cool. There's gonna be some monster, watch. He wants to keep it a secret though. He was looking like Shinichi after Shinichi's mom died from Parasite. Oh, that's the same thing that he was doing. He was breaking, it was like, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. He's going through the same situation. Oh. I'm pretty sure there was symbolism also with the way that they closed in, like cleared up the sculptures. Watch her image change. She's gonna be someone else. Is her head talking? Did he cut off her head? There's a reason why they're not showing her on camera. Something about her has changed and it's different. I knew it! I knew he was gonna draw that second face. I like the way that he put it over his face in a way, you know what I mean? It's like he's becoming that. I wonder if him screaming is not really him choking her out, but her putting the work on him. And then, oh dang, oh man, oh my gosh, they did not censor, dude. Her eyes are gonna open up again. Watch, or it's gonna end with her eyes.
みるみる肉が盛り上がって、なんと恐ろしい体質を持った女でしょう。やがてこれらはそれぞれあの女そっくりに成長するに違いないのです。
Oh my gosh. That, oh man, that was crazy. That ending was crazy, man. They did not censor that at all. Like that, like that's probably the most edgy thing that we've seen in the series. The art is beautiful here with the trees and the perspective shot. It's giving me Mushi vibes. Or Mushishi. Never go by the sheds. Never. Sheds are always messed up places in horror. Horror-based things. Or things, or films or whatever, stories with horror elements.
君たちどこの子だい？誰か電話を貸してくれないか？黙ってないで助けてくれよ。電話なんてないよ。じゃあ道に出るにはどっちに行けばいい？
There are no roads. She's just walking away like. You're gonna ask to leave the place, right? Hmm.
なんだ君たち、なんか用かい？用がないなら行くぞ。こら、貴様ら何するんだ？カナ大丈夫か？
They hit it with a thorn. With the thorned, That's weird. That one was weird. Oh no, it didn't finish. Okay. Interesting. What? A bird slammed it on my window. A whole bunch of bodies watch. Something's gonna be messed up. I'm telling you guys. Something. This is leading to something messed up. What was that? Was that cloth of blood, or was that a cloth with blood in it, or was that like meat? Is that them growing up? Well, one of them growing up? Oh, I see, okay. He's saying the same thing. If I'm right, I promise you guys I did not see this episode already or anything like that, if I did get that right. But he seems good, though. He doesn't seem like he has any ill intentions. Is he drinking blood? Are they vampires? That is pretty poetic, I'm not gonna lie. Oh! Oh, now she has that bandage on her neck, too. Did he send those kids for her? Don't eat it, don't eat it, don't eat it.
果たして彼女は血に逃げられたのでしょうか。私はそうは思わない。彼女の血もまた彼女自身なのです。彼女の血は果実となって永遠に生き続けるのでしょうか。
That is disgusting. The way you just pop, that is disgusting.
なんだ、フラフラする。かな。これは結婚。カナの血。
There's a whole bunch of Dragon Balls in that room. They're like beating hearts? Or are they? It's hard to tell if they're cells, if they're hearts or blood cells. What?
このぬくもり、彼女は今も生きてるんです。カナはどこです？カナに何をした？何のことです？カナさんならあなたと一緒の部屋で休んでますよ。夢でも見たんですか？お疲れのようですね。あなたも早くお休みなさい。逃げろ。逃げろ。早く。
What?
あんたは誰だ？この村の者だ。村の人。この村は廃村だと聞いたが、それにどうしてそんな。
That is some beautiful artwork, like really beautiful artwork. Like that is amazing.
あいつが村を滅ぼしたんだ。数年前この村に現れ、恐ろしい魔力を使って村の住民のほとんどを血を実らす植物に変えてしまった。ここに群生しているのは村人たちの慣れの果てだ。あの男はこの土間に血のなる畑を作ったのだ。一体どうやって。早く逃げろ。早く逃げないと。でなければあとはわしらのようにミイラになるだけ。カナ、大丈夫か。さあ早くこの屋敷を出るんだ。逃げることはできませんよ。あなた方は必ず戻ってくる。ほら、彼女の首美しいでしょう。
Come on. Okay, I'm getting kinda angry at that guy. Well, it's weird that he said you too. I wonder if she's gonna kill him and bring him back there. And that's what he means by you too. No. Watch, he's gonna pick off one of those things.
何か対策はないんですか？一つだけある。自分の体に生えた実を食べるのだ。しかし自分の実を食べた者はそれ以後生き血を飲まずにはいられなくなる。
Come on. Oh man. Oh man. Look, it's like it's they're inferring that that plant has taken over. Interesting. The three women of the episode. What the episode actually revolved around a good amount of women. Um, it looks like the ending is inferring that the plant taking over both the girl with the white hair. Well, we know that, and the girl with the blonde hair. As for the girl with the black hair, I don't know what the relevance of her being there is, but it's covering up one of her eyes and leaving one eye still. Oh yeah, I realized this. Two of the girls have both their eyes, off camera. Not off camera, but off the picture. One of the girls has no, she technically has both eyes there. I was gonna use the eyes as maybe potential symbolism, but no, never mind. Because technically, two of her eyes are still there. The girl with the white or cream colored hair. We had a great episode. My neck is just sore. That's why I did that. I don't think this is how to say it. Last episode is probably a little more edgy in terms of how disturbing it. Oh man, changed. Yeah, she's crying now. The girl. Yeah, man. Yeah, it is pretty creepy. I would love. I don't know if these stories get finished in the manga, but I'd really love to see how these stories really end up in the manga because I'm really curious to see how the guy who chopped that Tomie girl up or Tomie girl up, how his story ends. If it is done that way in the manga. As for the other two girls, I mean, we know one of the girls is already consumed by that whole plan thing, and I think she just like, she was too peaceful, and she just didn't want to, commit herself to blood, or even bloodshed of her own self. This episode was weird and edgy. I mean, see, here's the thing. Last episode we had that whole centipede type of, thing, and that really was really impactful, really stood out. It was disgusting, in your face, repulsive, you want to wash your brain out with bleach and watch just, a load of just a ton of kitten videos or, puppies or something like that. You know what I mean? Just bleach your brain out. This one, it's not, as repulsive, or even nearly as repulsive, but the first part of the episode, even though it's not repulsive, it was still quite edgy. So, it's hard to say if that, I mean, repulsiveness versus edgy, okay? It's kind of opinionated which one is a little more, which one is more rated R material. Still, the first part of the episode, that Tomie girl, right? Tomie girl. She was. I mean, I could listen. At the beginning of the episode, I was like, something's gonna be off about her, Something is gonna be different about this Tomie girl. She just seems too. She was just giving off weird vibes, not creepy vibes, but weird vibes. Even at the, at the end, I would say she was freaky. She wasn't creepy per se, though, even at the end. But the ending. I mean, before we even get there, the Tomie girl, they kind of gave me a plot twist because I thought she was actually going to take an interest in the picture that I was going to create. But at the same time, I kind of had an idea that when she says you're not drawing my beauty correct, that maybe it was maybe that maybe he wasn't drawing the monster within her, right? He wasn't drawing her personality perfectly. That is the thought that I had in my head, and I was certain I was correct. I was I'm predicting this episode, I'm gonna be right. I know it. And before you know it, I was wrong. When he painted the monster seemingly in her, she still didn't like it. Now, is that because he halfway painted the monster in her? Or is that because, he didn't paint her with her head chopped off and, like, truly paint, what her insides and what her growing back, her body parts look like? Is it because, he painted her, um, halfway into her ugly stage rather than 100% into her ugly stage? I wonder if that's why she didn't, still enjoy the painting that he made for her. That's what I speculate. That Tomie girl though, man, come on though, she was pretty darn cute though. I'm not gonna lie, she was cute. That's why at the beginning of the episode I was kind of like, this is one character who I feel like I would actually, listen, a lot of the characters I feel like, well, not in this series, but in general, just like a lot of characters who fall for certain things in horror genre based, movies or shows, whatever. A lot of times they fall to stupid mistakes. But this girl she wasn't sexy, but she was cute, so I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of see, I could even see myself probably falling for that, you know what I mean? Now, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the animation in this episode was fairly average. It was kind of the same thing as always. The art, there were certain parts in this where I felt like the art was, really, really good in this. I didn't say this in the last episode reaction, but in the last episode reaction, after I went back and I kind of edited it, and I forgot to mention this, but there was a problem that I had with it, and it's a very minor problem in me nitpicking. But the repulsive, disgusting scene with that centipede on his scalp. I mean, ew, disgusting. Really disgusting, repulsive. I don't even want to like remember it, but for the sake of the action, I will. Even that scene was kind of like, okay, I get he has the centipede on his head, but the art style, it just wasn't blending in. I felt like the foreheads that was on his head, the forehead, yeah, the collection of foreheads on his head, was just, it was drawn a little too shiny and a little bit too, I don't want to say the word accurate, but I'll say it, just for a quick, on the fly use of my words, or rather my lack of words. The foreheads were just a little bit too shiny and popping out, in your face, compared to the, I don't want to say this, but kind of blandish, I don't want to say bland, but I'll say sometimes average artwork of Junji Ito, the anime. That does not mean that I'm saying that it's bad. I'm saying that it's unique, but it's also average from a certain perspective. The character designs aren't really, and I'm not trying, hate on the series for that. That isn't a point off of the series really, but it's not a point up either. The art in this series, I feel like, for the anime at least, the manga is beautiful. I didn't read the manga, but I see it in Google Images. The art in the anime is just kind of bland, and that contrast between the centipede head and, and the average or sometimes bland art, of the character, which is kind of like, I just feel like it just wasn't matching. Although there were certain, drawings of the foreheads or centipede foreheads that kind of like, to me, were kind of like, bravo. Like the one where like it's crawling on the floor really fast and she's, hiding behind the wall and she's not moving a muscle. The sketchy art style was pretty darn cool at that point. I remember that pretty well, even though it's been like a week and maybe like 2 days or 1 day, whatever. In this episode, however, I didn't really see that contrast. At least it didn't pop out to me as much. The contrast in art style was fairly consistent throughout this whole episode. I really dig that. At the same time, this episode just didn't really catch me as much as the last episode, but it was still good nonetheless. The OSTs, because I'm not wearing headsets, which I will go back and I will, listen to the OSTs for this episode and, re-watch over the whole episode. I will do that later on. The OSTs I couldn't really, hear out too well, because again, the neighbors were having a party and Yeah, I don't have my headsets on me as of the moment, which I will later on, but not right now. I couldn't hear the OST, so I can't really rate the OSTs as of yet. As for the animation, or rather not animation, because animation is kind of the same thing as art, really. At least it incorporates art. The movement or fluidity of the animation is always really the same. It never really upgrades per se, or at least if it does, it gives us unique shots. But this episode, I feel like the movements, how fluid the movements were it was fairly, again, I hate to say this word, but it was kind of bland. It wasn't anything too spectacular. It wasn't anything bad either. It wasn't anything slightly bad. It was above that. It was just, I think, either average or slightly, just ever so slightly, like a hair above average. Which basically, if you round it off, it's still average. My personal opinion, at least. The storyline, however, I think is where this episode really shined, and just the ending of the first episode, I can't really think of anything of, what that would really symbolize. I really can't tell of what the author's really trying to convey with this episode. It was so far out there, especially the end of the first episode. The second episode with, what was this again? I'm actually rewinding it just really quickly, not to go watch it over again. Oh yeah, the blood fruits. It's such an interesting concept, but I know I also said this before, that the second episode was kind of giving me some Mushishi vibes. If I'm even getting the name right, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. And even with the whole concept of things popping out of people's necks and weird phenomenons happening, that is oddly matching up to this perfectly. Like Mushishi is, it's I'm not saying that Junji Ito or Ito Junji, to be more exact, is tomato crocodile alligator. I'm not saying that that Junji Ito is taken from Mushishi, because I don't know which series came out before the other, so I can't say that or anything like that, which series has taken inspiration from the other. But what I can make the observation on is that the two series during this episode, especially the second half, I'd say the second half more than any episode so far, it's really, and I should have caught this before, because there were some other episodes that could also give the Mushishi vibe as well. It just, everything from, not from the character anatomy. The character anatomies are different, but I'm talking sometimes, at times, the background art to, and I'm talking about first season of Mushishi, not second season, or any of the movies, definitely not the movies. The art style, I'd say, is completely different for the movies. Even second season, I'd say, to a certain extent. But for first season, sometimes it's background art, and sometimes the storytelling is just, it's a little similar, you know what I mean? Like if you take away the horror elements, and I know that's kind of like saying, if you take away the sugar from the cake, right? I get, maybe I can't really use that too much, but I'm just saying this, for explanatory purposes. I know you can't take the sugar out of the cake, otherwise it's not really a cake. But still, what I was saying was, for this, the two series are very similar, in multiple ways, but the biggest thing is the way the story is kind of handled. And that's just my personal observation. Again, that's only if you take away the horror elements, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, this was still a great episode. The second part of the episode was kind of the same. It was the same thing as the first part of the episode. I felt like the second episode was a bit more. I felt like it was a bit more. How to say it? I'm not gonna say interesting, but I would say it gave a completely different vibe from the first episode. It really did give a completely different vibe from the first. And the way it ended, with her biting into the blood fruit, I guess we're always up to speculation, in this series, but I wonder if that means that she's going to attack him next, you know, her, I guess, lover. It's hard to say what events are going to happen next after that, or if after he sees her do that, he's going to be more tempted to eat from his own thing, you know, to eat from his own blood fruit, and, you know, try to go after her. It's kind of hard to say. But it's interesting to see that the kids at the beginning who tried to drink their blood are the same ones who, I mean, it says that, how do I say this? I'm getting disturbed by the music just so much, it's like I can't even concentrate. But anyway, as I was saying before, the kids, I was gonna say, and I kind of stopped myself in the thought because it wouldn't have made sense. I was gonna say maybe the kids did survive, you know, considering that they ended up eating their own, you know, eating their own blood fruits. That was, I speculated that, but at the same time, kind of like, did they really survive? Because their personalities changed, and if their personalities changed, and, you know, who knows what happened with their memories, did they actually survive, or did they really die? You know what I mean? It's kind of hard, like the sense of who they are, you know, their personalities, did those die? Because if they did, then it's kind of like they still died in general, you know what I mean? It's just that now they're technically a zombie with skin on their face, with skin on their faces. So it's kind of hard to really say. But still, this episode, both parts, I'd have to say, if I had to rate it out of 10 as a whole, without the OSTs, just off of a first watch, I'd probably rate this like maybe a solid 7.3 or 4, no, 7.5 I'd say. I rated 7.5 out of 10, to be quite honest. It was a good episode. It definitely was a good episode. I just feel like it didn't really stand out as much as certain other ones, but it was still a pretty good episode regardless of what. Anyway, that probably does it for this reaction. I hope you guys take it easy. Hope you guys stay awesome, and I will see you guys next time on the next reaction. And peace out.